Meanwhile, TikTok restores service to the U.S. users after President-elect Trump announced he will issue an executive order giving the platform a 90-day extension, a reprieve. TikTok thanking Trump, and they restored the service. But will the legal revival be short-lived? Joining us now is George Washington law professor and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley. Jonathan, first off, is that within the president's purview to extend this law 90 days?
I think there's a credible argument that a 90-day extension would be legally invalid. It's a very quirky law, but there's a good argument that that 90-day period no longer applies. It deals with a separate period that started to run when the law was passed, and that ended yesterday. So the question is the president going to do something like President Biden did? That is, President Biden just said, I'm not going to enforce the law. And that's problematic. There is a valid federal law on the books that was just reviewed by the Supreme Court. Are you really going to start out your presidency by just saying, don't enforce the federal law? The problem is that the Chinese are notorious. They will not make a concession unless there's no alternative. And there's a lot of people saying just don't enforce the law, and they're hearing that. And so this is a game of chicken. And I think the Chinese think that they're going to win.
He says, why don't we do a 50-50 thing? It makes a lot of money, so make it 50% American ownership, 50% Chinese ownership. That doesn't defeat the problem that all this information goes back to China. It's Chinese-owned. We wouldn't let China be bought by ABC, wouldn't be sold to China. Fox wouldn't be sold to China.
That's right. And these committees in Congress are vehement. They're saying that this algorithm and the sharing of information is a serious national security risk. And if you don't untie that Gordian knot, it's still going to be there.
What do you say to people that say, well, other businesses go over to China and they deal with it and they give up their IP, whether it's Tesla on down? What's the difference here? Why make a stand here?
Well, just the sheer numbers of Americans that have their data in this system is daunting. I mean, this is a massive popular site. And the concern is that you have a very hostile power that's been trying to undermine our infrastructure, trying to undermine aspects of our government. And to have that amount of data from U.S. citizens in the hands of the CCP is very, very concerning. So he's going to have to try to thread this needle, and I'm not too sure how to do that within the confines of the statute.
Right. Just sell it to an American company. That's it.
That's exactly
the only thing you got to do.
Yeah.
Jonathan, we'll talk about this again.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you. Appreciate it. It's an exciting day in Washington.